Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Keyline 303 for our laser cut or our high security cuts like we do for Hondas, Kias, Hyundais, Lexus, and GM or Ford flip keys, high security. Let's go ahead and get started. For this video I did take off the security shield. Always wear your safety glasses, it usually goes here. I took it off so you can see this a little better. I also am wearing protective safety glasses in this video, so please be safe when you start this. So let's go through some of the key points on how and what to do with this machine. So we have the top, this pulls down. This is going to activate the drill or the cutting bit to turn on. We have calibrate over here, and we have the black cut button down here. Over here, this is going to control the left, right, forward, and back, kind of like a video game. So you're using two hands at once. The trick is you pull this down and hold it. Do not move your right hand, and then all you do is you control with your left hand. If you can do that, you'll be very successful at the 303. Other tricks that I use, instead of holding up here, I see a lot of people doing, it's a lot of movement. What I do is I hold my hand down here, and all I have to do is flex my fingers, and I'm able to pull and move just as much. Or I can hold up here. Instead of here, it's more travel. I can do here and make that just by flexing and pulling on my fingers and my wrist. My forearms are usually on the Silka handlebar on the side or on the table, and same thing for this hand. So I rest my hand on the table. So I'm basically doing like an arm wrestling challenge where I'm pulling and all I'm doing is just flexing, and I have full control and there's no slip. These knobs, not really important, just leave them alone, don't lose them. This is your calibration for fine adjustment. I put some duct tape on there to kind of lock it in place so it doesn't move as much. And this is going to always throw off people. So if I watch here, and if I turn this knob, the silver thing, it has these little pegs. It just drops down, and it drops down even more. Not sure what it really does, but it just slowly drops down over time when you're driving, and then lowers, and then you can't calibrate. Pick it up, lift it, and then you're good to go. So let's go ahead and check calibration on the flat sections. Before you get started, always clean all the gunk off. We're just going to check the calibration on these 2 points here, which are the cutting plates, and these are the tip stop plates. So I'm just going to hit the red button, and I'm going to slowly drop down, and I'm going to watch the tracer side, and I'm going to pull and press. So if you look, it's red, and then I pull down just a smidge more, and it's green. Cool. And I don't need adjustment. Let's go on the other side and just check. Cool. So let's go ahead and put the key blades in there as a test. So this is what I do for new people I'm training on day one, is I will show them how to install a Honda key and train and cut on a Honda key. Honda keys are technically like the hardest. If you can do that, you can do any other key for the 303. It's like 4 keys. It's one side, another side, and then you flip it over, third side and fourth side. So if you can do a Honda key on the 303, you're really good. So set the bar high. So I'm just going to press forward and down, aim over here so the keys are flat. Take the spacer, stick it back over there, hit the red button, and check the calibration. It's a little red then green, so I'm going to adjust it. I'm going to turn the knob towards the red side. So now it's red and green. So I turn it a smidge that way. Good. So let's check again. 1, 2, 3. Good. So that's all we want to do. So when I'm going to train someone, I'm going to have them spend 15 minutes taking the keys out, putting them in it back in, taking the keys out, putting them back in, checking calibration over and over and over. So let me just go through once again. So this is how you would practice. You essentially put the key in, tighten. Cool, you want it hand tight. For this one, you don't want it to like wiggle out, but it's nice and firm. And then same thing for this key, slide it in, forward and down. Make this one tighter because the cutting bit does have a lot of force. It can jump up. You don't want it to be like that. If it pops out like that, you need to make sure that your cutting plates are intact. In worst case, you can get a pair of pliers and just gently torque it down, and now it's nice and secure. Put the pliers back so your table's clean. Put your tracer, spacer back, and now let's go ahead and hit the calibrate. Good. and then you take it out. You do that about 15 minutes, maybe once or twice a day. Cool. The next part is the tracing. We want people to learn how to trace. So what we're gonna do is use the Allen key. We're gonna take this out. Be careful, it's very sharp. If you need to, add WD-40 or another lubricant so it doesn't get rust in there and lock out. It just took me an hour to take those out because rust and corrosion gets in there. So now we want to practice on tracing. So all we're going to do is focus on the tracing and the control. Just focusing on the control of that left hand. It's going to make the noise, but it's not going to cut anything. So we can leave this key here. So I'm going to do is I'm force a habit, hit the red button to calibrate. I'm going to pull down. It's not going to calibrate because there's no key to have the current go through. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the black button to practice cutting and just tracing. I want to hug this edge without jumping and slipping off like that. It's going to be too chaotic. So let's see if I can zoom in for that. Cool. So I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this end, work my way up and around, come over here, and then backtrack so I get all the nooks and crannies. So let's go ahead and hit the power button. I'm going to pull down, and I'm just going to go in and hug, and just hugging. And going around. Now on the tip, you want to make sure you don't slide off. Cool, there we go. And back. You can lift up. You can ID it. Now, side note. This is 2.5 millimeters. If this is like 3 millimeters wide, like it's really deep right here, you have to backtrack and cut a straight line along here to get that inside. Now I'm going to just go back and backtrack like I didn't lift up. Now I'm going to backtrack. Make sure I get that corner. Make sure I get that tip. It has to be right angle. In and around and around and around. Good. Done. And lift up. So I want to do that over and over and over. So I'm going to spend 15 minutes putting the keys in, taking them out, putting them in, taking them out, checking calibration. And then once I'm good at that, I'm going to have them or myself do the tracing so they can really go through. And if they go full speed, this is full speed for a Honda. You go through. And I'm cutting. The other side just spitting out bits. And backtrack. And I can even go back and hit that straight edge if needed. Go around. And I can hit that straight edge if needed. And I can hit it, and I'm done. And I take it out, flip it. It'll take like maybe under 2 minutes to cut a Honda key. So that's how you do the Hondas. Or use the Keyline 303. Thanks, guys. Bye.